So the first thing that we need to do is identify what website are we actually focusing on. So we're going to focus on Radiance, um, Radian, radiancep.com. And then when I went to the homepage, it looked nice in terms of the content within it, and it is clear to me that they hired a professional copy editing individual, because there's a lot here that we're going to talk about that is very right. However, when I think of search engine optimization, I always think about the services that you provide, because from a sales perspective, you want people that are at the bottom of the funnel. In other words, that they have a high intent of purchasing something. So to that effect, let me share my screen and let me share their website right here. And you can see that they utilize a lot of the good things that copy editors say. In other words, this image in the background is psychologically supposed to convey the transformational state of the person after they receive your services. So it's obviously a female athlete that is overjoyed at being able to be very athletic, because she's jumping an unknown height and she's empowered. And then the call to action right away, book a strategy session, and then very good. Normally what they do tell you is like this book complimentary call is highlighted in some way so that it's more prominent than the other buttons. But that's besides the point. I am actually, I'm going to go over like her first page. But in general, what we want to do, we want to go to services, because what we want to attract people the most is to our services. And then we want to explain the value of those services to the specific ideal customer. So let's go over physical therapy. And I am going to point out, let me stop sharing and then share another one of my tabs real quickly. I'm going to switch to this one. And if I go here and I go to my Ahref is a third-party service that provides a lot of information that is necessary to search engine optimization. I don't mean to say that the search engine optimization that you can buy on Fiverr is nothing like what I'm going to show you here. The services that they provide are not going to be as comprehensive and as thoughtful in regards to actually getting the results of you being on the top 10 in Google. Now, it's impossible for me to say these techniques are going to get you to be the top 10 in Google, but I can tell you that I have used what I'm going to show you in the past, and I have achieved that goal. In any business where other individuals are competing for the same keywords, you can be top 10 in Google today, and let's say 2 years elapse, and then not be top 10 in Google or Bing or Yahoo, etc. So it's a continuous effort, especially for the very competitive keywords. So let's go over the things that are that we can fix right away and identify. And then we'll progressively, I'm going to take my time. So this is for like it says over here, this is a self-paced. So if you don't have the patience, you may have to put this on fast forward. So let's go over the metrics. And over here, it says that the domain rating is 12. So that means that the way that I want you to think about domain rating is the strength of your brand. Now, I know that some people may argue that that's not what it is, but follow me here. Your brand is your reputation, and your reputation is what are you known for. So 12 out of 100 means that you're not very well known. And therefore, when Google is considering someone that has a greater domain reputation versus yours, and let's say you have similar content, they're often going to be more mindful of ranking the people with a higher domain reputation than over the ones that don't have one, right? And you can see that there are 25 keywords here. So if I click here, these are the keywords that today Gradient is competing for, right? So it is very important to know this, because these are likely not very good keywords. Okay. So because there wasn't a session where people thought, what is it that the keywords that I need to really think about from the perspective of someone looking for my services. Now, physical therapy, Durham, is actually a very good keyword, right? I like that one, especially because it says physical therapy here, right? Now, these other keywords, it's actually kind of like when you go over the content in here, these words, these phrases are not used in this capacity. So using these keywords is technically wrong other than this, right? And Durham is probably the city of the place. So if I click here and I click on, let's see, local business, I see that is located in Durham. So yeah, so that's good in a sense, but then that would mean that in here, Durham, but then you need the phrase Durham physical therapy. So in order for this to count, it should say Durham physical therapy. And because it doesn't, then it's not going to rank very high for it. And you'll see I have tools that show it. But before we go into that, let's continue with the more basic stuff. And then we noticed that the title here, and then one way that we can do this, we can go to Google site, just like that. And then as you can see, if I type site and then a column, and then I put the domain in question, I see all the pages that are listed. So oftentimes people ask me, am I listed in Google? Well, you can know by typing site and then your site. You can also go to Google Search Console and determine that. So if I put / physical therapy, it's even better, right? And we can see here that this right here, right, is equivalent to what we see right here, right? Let me go back so you can see it now. See pelvic PT prenatal, personalized care during pregnancy. Okay, well, hold on. This one, personalized care during pregnancy. Okay, and the link title is going to be pelvic PT prenatal, right? That title. Now, what I want to ask you as a human being, and I always want you to think of search engine optimization as people are trying to find you and your services. What words convey what you're offering, the value. So think of it. What is the problem? What is the value that I have to offer? And then can you find it here? Is this the right solution for you? So right here, personalized care during your pregnancy with experienced pelvic PT in Durham. Well, that's probably true, right? Get one-on-one support to decrease your risk of tearing your pelvic. Okay. Understood. And that description, it could be really good. So what we need to determine is if the description that we see here, personalized care, right? Control F, personalized, right? Care. So if the words that you use in the title, if the words that you use in the description are not present in the page, then the people that wrote the algorithm are going to start to suspect that you, in fact, that your content has no relevance to what you're saying it has a relevance to. So in other words, this is like saying, I am about this, but when you open the book, right? Imagine there's a cover, a book cover, and the book cover says psychology, but within that book, the word psychology didn't appear once. The question that a programmer has to evaluate is, if the book cover says psychology, but the contents of the entire book doesn't have psychology, is this really about psychology? And if there's another book, another webpage that has things about psychology, right? Like actually sentences that talk about psychology, then is the book about psychology? And then they weighs it in. Should I present this one or this one to the person that is searching in Google? So start thinking that way from the perspective of the person that had to build the algorithms, and make some educated guesses in regards to what is most logical and makes most common sense. In the absence of studying and going to the seminars, etc., and dedicating yourself to the profession of search engine optimization and not wanting to hire someone to do it yourself, that I would say is my recommendation to you. Of course, if you hire a professional, then that individual hopefully studies his homework. So the word count is super important. You'll see why. Because unfortunately, short pages as of 2024 are not going to be very well ranked. And by short, I mean they expect 3,000 words, not 280, 3,000 to 5,000. In other words, you almost have to write an essay, not more than an essay, almost like a several essays, right? To actually be, I guess ranked. Another thing here that you can see is like it says 109 to 60. And what that means is that your sentence is going to get cut off. You see that those dots? So if your sentence gets cut off, the whole point of writing these over here is to express your point, but people are not going to see your entire point. So it's going to be hard to really drive the point home that you are the right page for them, so that they're just saying, hey, you know what, use 160, because after 160 characters, it's going to cut off. And then after 60 characters for the title, it's going to cut off. So you really have to go back and think about the content that you're going to put inside of the page that pertains to this. And then also the description that is inside of the page that pertains to physical therapy. And those have to be changed. Now, a very good thing that this page is doing is that the URL says physical therapy. That is excellent. You have to, the URL itself is also part of the weight in regards to how you get ranked. So, for example, if your domain name is called physical therapy, you likely will rank higher for physical therapy as a keyword. So I know individuals that buy thousands of domains that are keywords and then link them back to their websites, and oftentimes also put them for sale, because sometimes the domains can sell for $3,000, $1,500, etc. And then they get the search engine optimization. So that's really cool. So another, I'm flipping through here because I'm thinking of going back to this. Oh yes, because it's really important to have a sitemap XML. Now I suspect this is Squarespace that they're using. I mean, I could go verify it, but I'm pretty sure that it is. And the reason is because they have a sitemap XML, which absolutely helps with search engine optimization. And the idea is that the sitemap tells the structure of your page. And then by putting the structure of your page to the Google indexing, think about an AI or robot that does the job that it needs to do. It actually does it helps it understand how to crawl. In other words, go through every single link and visit every page that is available in your website. So, and then you can see that it's over here, and then they give you props for that. Now, in the structured data over here, we can see at least that the domain over here doesn't have a description. That's not very good. And the organization, that's good. It doesn't have the privacy setting. So the phone number is leaked. If you're okay with that number being leaked. A lot of spammers crawl websites, and then that's how you get those spam calls, and then you wonder how they get my number. This is one of the ways. And then over here is, I think this is totally fine. Some people would say that the opening hours is something you can improve, but I don't think it'll make a big difference. If you look at this, let's look at this page. So the reason that I clicked here is because this is actually a very important image. When I go to LinkedIn, right, and I put this link, I should see that image that you guys saw is called the OG image. I call it, right here. And it's really important to have an OG image. Now, the reason that the OG image right here is wrong is because the OG image is equivalent to a thumbnail in YouTube. So when I share this specific link, right? And when I say it's wrong, actually, let me go to Health and Fitness and make sure that they don't have a Health and Fitness one. Yeah. So the idea is that each of the pages would have an OG image that really expresses the content that you're going to see in that page, so that when I see it over here, right, and this title doesn't make any sense. But if I put, let's say, for example, a famous website or a marketer's website would be, I'm actually wondering what LinkedIn.com will show up as. So LinkedIn.com doesn't do it right. But let's go to a marketing website. Let's say, for example, marketing. What is this? Marketing. I forget their name right now. CRM. Hotspot. Yeah, that's it. I forgot Hotspot or Hotspot. All right. So if I go to Hotspot and I see their image, the title makes sense. It's a software tools and resources for your business. Whereas if I went over here and I clicked on physical therapy, right? Let's hopefully, there we go. Health and fitness coaching, radiant therapy sounds good, but it should have been something about health and fitness coaching, right? And the logo can change and say health and fitness coaching for athletes and mothers or something, or like pregnant individuals or persons or people, right? So the idea is like the OG image is another way to improve the way that you present yourselves. I know I myself oftentimes don't do those things, because it's so much, but so in regards to the images, so every images should have a title. So if you look at this right here and you look at the HTML, what this is really saying, instead of doing it through HTML because it gets confusing, I'll do it through the tool. What this is saying is like, hey, this image is missing a title. So if you put titles, right, in the images, and you actually name your images like your JPEGs, etc., like with keywords, it actually can help as well. It doesn't help that much, but definitely not having a title hurts. And then therapy CLI. Oh, client. I'm like seeing CLI because I'm a programmer on her squat. Okay, so those are good. Like there's missing an alt image here. It's missing some things, but there's some improvement. Now, what I can tell you is that when I see JPEGs right here, there is a format called WebP, and you can convert. You have to, if you want to have like the ultimate compressed image, because speed is an incredible factor in regards to how you're going to get ranked. So one of the things that takes a lot of time to process is actually the images. So you have to get Photoshop or a website that converts your images to WebP, and then go over every single image that you have and upload it as a WebP, and make sure that it doesn't look stretched or messed up, etc. Those are more search engine optimization tricks. Okay. The outgoing links, the conventional wisdom is that any page that you have should have an outgoing link outside of your website to somewhere else, and then that it should have an internal link linking to some content within your website that is in some way related to the content that website is presenting. Okay, so great job over here. Now, in regards to having a link to a website, I don't know if you did it. I think you did it here, actually, in this. So great job, right? So that was the basics, okay? And now we're gonna get into the not so basics. So physical therapy, we're gonna assume that that is your main goal. Here, you're presenting the physical therapy service. Here it is. Well, that needed to be an H1, okay, and it's an H2. So what is an H1? It's just like HTML markup, where even though whoever coded this made it like big and fluffy, and the CSS, and made the changes that needed to so that it looks good, still the markup needs to say H1, because the search engine optimization is looking for a specific structure of what is called the let's see, what basically is the structure. It's an outline of your website, okay, and it's going to be on content right here. And I want you to think that you are doing an outline in a Word document, right? And in a Word document, you would have the main headline, H1, and then you have subheadings, and then we should maybe subtopics, and then within them you have paragraphs, and then maybe you have bullets, etc., or subheadings, and it's like writing a book, right? So when you think of the structure of a web page, structure web page like outline, right? And then you think of this with I want to say H1, H2 paragraph. Okay, let's see. I would say it's like this, right? Where you're just structuring the hierarchy of the content, right? And within it, it has to make sense. So over here, the H1 is basically your title. The title of your book is Physical Therapy, except you're saying that you don't have no title. Your book has no title. It has no H1. So that's the problem. You have no book. You have no title in your book. So when I go to the bookstore and I buy your book, I look at the cover and it's empty. I mean, it might be riveting. It might be like, like what do you call it? Like a marketing ploy to be cool, like just like a black book. And you're like, it has no title. It's so weird. Let me open it and see. Well, it doesn't work that way. And you're basically not going to be in the bookstore. Or you'll be in the bookstore, but you'll be in the secret aisle where the other books with no title are located that nobody can find. So I guess that would be the analogy here. Put an H1, right? And then integrate pelvic physical therapy for active women in the Triangle of North Carolina. This right here, I know it's obviously written by a copywriter, okay? Because they straight up say exactly what we're doing. Boom, that's in your face. And then for who it is, who are we targeting? Who is the ideal customer? Not baristas, not men, not anybody else. Active women, right? And then where, right? In the North Carolina area, right? And then a call to action, which is totally fine. And instead of saying submit or so I'm going to call out the things that are right? So instead of saying submit or send or the standard web designer thing like sign up, it tells you the action that you're taking. So this person was very thoughtful. Now over here, they're trying to tell you the 1, 2, 3s. In other words, the value proposition. But in here, it's almost like it's a little confusion because like the only reason I know about this is because I have some knowledge in regards to pregnancy support, pelvic pain, and pregnant and postpartum athletes. Maybe I don't know much about postpartum athletes, but that's a new topic for me. But the idea is like this is not it doesn't tell me enough in order for me to understand what's your point, right? So there's some copy editing here issues. And then now here's really good copy editing. So I'm, again, it's trying to target me again for women who are ready to find long-lasting relief of pelvic pain. So that's my ideal customer. And then here's my problem that holds you back from running with your friends. Good. So that's one of the things that I want, or that they think that the reader wants, and creating memories as you stay active for years to come. Very nice. Very well thought of. Okay. So Dr. Mbong used a holistic approach to help you find. So they're probably using the story model, where they're introducing Dr. Mbong as the guide, the person that is able to guide you through this, right? And they tell you like what are the benefits. This is great. And now they're telling you like some of the things that pertain to your the particular problems that you may have that are relevant to this service for physical therapy. Here's an image. So I understand that the purpose of the image is to show kind of like the treatment, but it doesn't speak for itself, right? This right here is too generic, and the call to action, and then the footer. Okay, so what I would say is like, if I were to run, and I'm gonna stop sharing and share another of my tabs. Let's see. Okay. So this is called Surfer. And then what Surfer has is incredible feature called Audit, in which you can put a link and a specific keyword. Now, what I would tell you is like, when you're beginning, do not do more than one keyword. Sounds crazy, but you're gonna see how difficult it is to get just one keyword right. So I'm gonna create that audit. It's gonna take some seconds. And it's gonna start telling me a lot of things that are not quite right. And I'm gonna go over them. Then I'm gonna show you at a later stage how I built from scratch a web page and everything that is necessary to targeting one keyword to compete with the best. And the audit is going to show that I am competitive. And it's a very hard keyword. So it's going to be interesting. Let's see this audit over here. Let me see if there's any questions or any. Oh, is there people watching? Nope, not yet. Haha. Let me see. Notes, chat. Oh, e-commerce industry. Okay, could you please tell me for? Okay, so Shakir Hans, hello. Thanks for sharing the info. Could you please tell me for the e-commerce industry clients? So the difference for e-commerce industry clients is that your keywords are your products. So if the product is unknown, then you have to go with the product's features or the value proposition. But if you have a famous product, for example, the Jordans 93, right, the shoes, then all your entire content is going to be focused on that keyword, right? Or retros, etc., or a type of shoe. Whereas if you have a product that you bought from Alibaba or Temu, etc., now you have to focus about what is it in the people's hearts that they want to get out of the product, right? So then you would have to write copy around those values. But the tools and the techniques and the title and the description and the length of the title, the length of the meta, the images being compressed, for the e-commerce, you do need to either be a really good photographer or hire a product photographer. I do not have, I've been trying to learn photography, but I am not good enough to do product photography at this particular moment. So it requires other set of skills, because the product is the superstar, right? Whereas in the services industry, the superstar is the guide. So it's kind of like a shift of mindset. And I am sorry, I am new to streaming, so I didn't see your question. I wasn't ignoring you, but yeah. Let me go back to Surfer. A very good question, by the way, and I love the interaction. Let's see if this finishes. In the meantime, because that is not finishing right now, we're going to say physical therapy. Okay. So when you look at physical therapy, and this is where knowing your geography is really important. And you guys are gonna catch me here because I'm terrible at geography. So this is, if we looked at where she's from. Okay, now I need to go to Google Maps, right? Zoom out a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna be over here, North Carolina. So in Google Trends, right? I gotta go to North Carolina, right here, because I am not in, as you see, like when you think of keywords, etc., it doesn't matter that physical therapy is really, really, really popular in California if the customers that I'm looking for can only attain the services if they're local to me. So when you look at Google Trends, you have to drill down. I mean, it sounds obvious, but so many times I see people targeting keywords that there's no one searching them in their area. And it frustrates me because they want to have these keywords that are really popular, like in Canada. And it's like, well, are you a digital service? Do you want to sell to Canadians? No, I only sell to people in North Carolina, in Greensville, over here. I was like, but there's nobody searching for that keyword in North Carolina. No, so it's kind of like, it's obvious, but they don't know that's how it works. So by surfacing those facts, then it becomes more obvious, like, oh, those are not the keywords that we should be targeting. Oh, okay, I get it. So here's where I'm really bad. I got to go back to this thing, and then I got to figure out where this place is at, NC. So we gotta, what do we got here? South Point, Parkwood, Ginley. All right. I'm gonna just say it's this one, Durham. So you can see, right? Physical therapy. let's put actually past 5 years, So actually, yeah, this is a keyword. This is a local keyword, and then we should definitely use it. But now that we have identified that this is a keyword that is going to work within this jurisdiction, now we can campaign around it, right? And then this is taking its sweet time. I'm gonna refresh it. Surfer, you're not looking good in the commercials right now. Surfer SEO. I should tag the CEO of Surfer and be like, hey man, it's recommending your product. But okay. So right now, our competitors are big wigs. Wikipedia. Woohoo! That is not a competitor you want in terms of the ranking. Now, this goes into intent. So when you Google physical therapy, you likely the intent of this website is more educational, because if you see .gov, Wikipedia, WebMD, I don't know about Cleveland Clinic, but medical news today. So all of these, and NIH.gov, all of these seem educational. So the intent of physical therapy doesn't seem to be purchasing. Okay, so that should tell you a hint that physical therapy was not the right keyword, because it's not part of the bottom of the funnel. But if you wanted to double down and then, like that, because Google has determined that people that are looking for physical therapy are not looking to buy, they're looking to inform themselves. So you have to trust Google, right? Trust that they have good software engineers. They're pretty good physical therapists. Some of them. I'm just kidding. So then it's become a physical. Sorry. It's physical therapy. I apologize. So over here on Google Business, this is something else altogether. But we should definitely create a Google Business account and a Yelp account, and then Groupons, and then offer discounts. But those are more like now sales and other tactics. We're trying to focus on this, right? So actually for California, I see here, Wikipedia, WebMD. So there's a mixture of offering services, but it's mostly informational, right? Because if you look at these are informational sites. But if I do physical therapy near me, right, all of a sudden, right, now we start selling. So the keyword, in a sense, is physical therapy near me. And then you can look at the competitors. Like, for example, this is an aggregator, right? So they're just gathering leads and selling the leads. And then, it's kind of like a marketing agency. And I can tell right away because I used to do this. But this one looks like a small business, right? And if you look at their meta tags, actually, let me go to, I'm going to stop sharing real quick so I can switch Okay, let me switch my screen and over here. Okay. If I go over here and I look at here and I look at, so they put a location and they put an H1. That was really clever. So that is actually a very clever trick. So we could do physical therapy, Durham, right? And instead of physical therapy over here, to improve dramatically, physical therapy, right? North Carolina or Durham, right? So that's something that we can definitely easily do by adding one word, and then you get that benefit. Okay, so let me go back to the other screen so we can go to physical therapy. Now that we've learned that, though, we should run the we should run the audit using is it physical therapy in Durham or Durham physical therapy? Physical therapy, it has to be Durham. Okay. So, and then we know that this is over here. So really we should have ran the, let me share my screen again. I apologize. Just want to make sure. Share my window. Okay. Okay. So really I should have ran this against physical therapy Durham, and that should have been the audit. I'm gonna leave that there. Okay. So I'm gonna introduce you to a couple of things here. And I think I've explained quite a bit. Now it's time to actually create, right? Now, what we have to do, and I'm going to leave that here, but I'm going to show you what I had to do because I don't have access to this particular webpage. So I'm going to create net new information. So if I go to Squarespace, let me say over here, I created a web page. So one of the things that they address with their clients as physical therapy is urinary incontinence. So what I did was, we need to create a landing page, right, that is specifically done so that it can be the best possible SEO. Okay? And nowadays, when we say SEO, really it is a mixture of copy editing, doing videos, knowing. So that there's so many talents that you need to have, but there's no way somebody can afford an entire team, right? Like, you need a copy editor, the web designer, the individual that does the videos, the influencer that shoots the videos. I'm going to show you. And then basically somebody that audits the site for best practices and then for the structure, etc. But I happen to be medium, good, and average at a lot of these things, and then really good at some of them. So I'm going to walk you through what I did today just for this individual, right? And then I'm going to turn this over to them because they're using Squarespace. So I built it on Squarespace from scratch in one day. So the first thing that I do is use a technique, imagine, because when I say imagine, all of a sudden I am engaging your subconscious. All of a sudden, you can put yourself in that position. So imagine yourself without urinary incontinence. So that's the problem. And right away, try to address it. And you can finally be active again. So that's the outcome, transformation. Now, there's some beautiful copy editing. I wanna go back over here. When you actually click over here on this link, let me see what you're seeing just to make sure. Yeah, perfect. When you actually click on this link, obviously this is what I love, is that me and the person that wrote this would have been a fantastic team, because she's doing transformational statements. So a transformational statement is from when you go from your initial state to your final state. So think about it this way. If I wanted to lose weight, you would go from being overweight to being in a very healthy, I guess in a very healthy situation where you're in the weight that is healthy for you, and then you look good as well, right? So an element of vanity. So over here, she's doing helping women identify them right away, go from feeling frustrated, right? Tapping into that feeling, right? And then the way that I say tapping into that feeling is because you have to tap into how people feel, not necessarily how they think at first. By pelvic pain and leakage holding them back on their morning run, right? And then two, right, the transformation. I'm moving to from what I don't want to what I want, to discover the strength and confidence as they crush it on the trails. Normally, if you want it to be more convincing, you would put because, and it doesn't matter what you put in front of it. For whatever reason, the word because is magical in natural language processing. I mean, you could put something that because you deserve it. And all of a sudden you get 15% more conversion ratio on that book, a complimentary strategic. They call it strategy call. So that's great. And then over here, is this you? All of this is very pro, super pro. Like basically, if you nail this part, the person will feel that they're in the right place and that this is the service for them. If you miss this, they're not gonna buy it because that's not me. Sorry, I'm a guy. I don't have urinary, so I'm not right. But the thing about sales is like, it's not about. Let me check the chat. The thing about sales is not about selling to anybody. It's selling to the people that need it. So the best salesman tries to find the right solution for the people that need it. So this is just wonderful copy. I just wanted to call it out. I don't often see in people that ask me to evaluate their websites and to provide them advice. I don't often see this level of professionalism. So it's really good to see. And the entire thing could be a separate thing. Because these are testimonials, showcasing like that the system works. More testimonials, that's very good. And then exactly similar techniques. And I can help you. There should be something money back guaranteed, so to reduce the idea of risk, and then and then after you. In theory, after you book a complimentary call, it leads you to another web page that you do an add-on. But those are very complicated flows. So let's start with the beginning ones. So schedule a consultation. Notice that I removed the top buttons because it's a landing page, and the only goal of the landing page is to actually literally focus the individual into doing the action that you're wanting them to do. So it's kind of like a special page just for this. So I got to take a break. I'm going to be right back.